So welcome everyone. Just wanting to share some thoughts about our situation and the good news also. Yes, obviously everyone is very much affected by the coronavirus and so forth, but at the same time that is on the material platform, and we are not these bodies, we are pure spirit soul. And that is our spiritual identity, which is eternal, indestructible. As Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, the soul cannot be dried by the wind, cannot be cut, cannot be destroyed. So that is our real identity. This body is a cage. I am the soul within. When I realize it, my real life will begin. Happiness comes from within. Also, we also live in very extraordinary times. As much as the present situation looks very dark and pessimistic, but actually from a spiritual point of view, from the scriptural point of view, we live in a very fortunate time because of the appearance of the golden avatar of the Lord Gauranga, Sri Gauranga, as you can see on my t-shirt. This is Lord Gauranga with his associates, the Panchatattva. So his appearance is very rare in this material world. He of course descends from the spiritual world. Very rare means once every 8,640,000,000 years he comes to this world. 8,640,000,000, and he appeared just 500 years ago, so on our tiny little planet. And as a result of his appearance, this dark age of Kali will be transformed into a golden age. So that is our good fortune, to have taken birth at this time, in this place, is extreme good fortune. Because his mercy is Mahavaranyaya, the most merciful of all incarnations. I just like to quote from a very beautiful book here, Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in which he says the following: the Supreme Lord always promises that he will liberate all jivas and dispel all of their tribulations. Lord Gauranga says, I will bestow upon every person in this material world a treasure, prem, that is rare for even Brahma to obtain. Brahma is the first living being in this universe. In this incarnation, I will not consider who is a fit or an unfit recipient of this treasure. So this is amazing. We can read it and keep reading, but if we really absorb what the Lord is saying, it's very, very amazing and powerful. He says that he will bestow upon every person in this material world a treasure, prem. What is that treasure? That treasure is Krishna prem, or love of God. This is described as a priceless jewel, that for the soul to be blessed with this treasure is the most wonderful thing. And Lord Chaitanya goes on to say, Lord Gauranga, that he will not consider whether you are fit or unfit. Of course, in this age, everyone that has taken birth is actually very unfit to have taken birth in this place at this time. In Kali Yuga, the age of quarrel and hypocrisy, means that we are unfit. We are not spiritually qualified in any way. And yet it is exactly for these unfit, unqualified souls that the Lord has come to declare general amnesty. All the prisoners in this material world, the universe, are to be set free. And given this priceless jewel of Krishna Prem. Then Lord Gauranga goes on to say, I will see how Kali destroys the living beings when I manifest my Navadvip Dham. In that sacred abode I will break the poisonous teeth of Kali. Performing kirtan, I will make the living entities my own. According to the magnitude of the chanting of my names, the influence of Kali Yuga will be subdued. In other words, Kali Yuga will flee far away from the places where the holy name is chanted. So this is very, very amazing and important to hear from the Lord himself that, as he says, according to the magnitude of the chanting of my names. We know also that it's predicted that Gauranga's name is predicted to go to every town and village. And to the extent that those names are chanted, this age of quarrel and hypocrisy filled up with so many calamities, like we see war, this disease, all of these calamities will be subdued, We also hear from Srimad Bhagavatam, the graduate study of Vedic science, about a king called Prithu who ruled many years ago on this planet, and he was a direct incarnation of God. And it's said that when he ruled, all citizens were completely free of all kinds of miseries pertaining to the body, to the mind, to natural causes like disease, so forth, other living entities. They were completely eradicated. So the Yuga Dharma, or the religion of this age, is this Sankirtan Yaga, the congregational chanting of the holy names of God. So as the Lord himself says, that to the extent that we spread this chanting of the holy names, to that extent the miseries of this material world will be subdued. They will be subdued. So ultimately there lies our faith in the big picture that Gauranga has appeared. By his grace, all souls are to be liberated and to receive the greatest gift of Krishna Prem. Of course, as my Guruji said, we are all born skeptics, we don't believe this. But the evidence is there. Just like Srila Prabhupada, our beloved spiritual master, has said that we should study these scriptures, these holy books, like we should scrutinize them, just like a law book. The information given there is precise and complete and faultless. Just like right now with this pandemic, so much information out there, but a lot of it is speculation, a lot of it's false too. So we don't know what is even true on the mundane platform about this pandemic. But on the highest platform, on the spiritual platform, we can know the absolute truth without doubt and put our faith in that. In fact, that's all we need to put our faith in. To have an understanding that I am not this body, I'm pure spirit soul, I'm an eternal servant of God, of Krishna. My business is to engage in his eternal loving service, beginning with Shravanam, hearing about him, Kirtanam, speaking about him. In this way, we can know the absolute truth, which is eternal. Whatever the situation, materially, the absolute truth does not change. So our eternal business is this bhakti yoga, engaging in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And this is also, these points are confirmed again in Bhagavad-gita. There's a nice translation by Vijayacharya. in which I just like to read from the 6th chapter, Divine Communion through Prayer and Contemplation, just to read a few verses there. Krishna says, just as a flame sheltered from the breeze burns bright and steady, so shines the consciousness of the saints absorbed in full communion with me. Arriving at the plane of pure consciousness, wherein the practice of divine service has brought about self-restraint, they gain a position to relish the complete satisfaction which comes from seeing the true self. Solidly reposed in the supreme truth, their connection with the universe comes through transcendental senses through which they taste infinite pleasure and a holy joy. Upon reaching such a platform, the self-realized souls conclude that there remain no more goals worthy of achievement. Being so deeply absorbed in divine communion, they know no agitation, even in the face of severe difficulties. Such steady absorption in divine service should be understood as the only remedy for the miseries which arise from mundane connection. So that sentence, in a nutshell, just sums up our whole situation. If I may read it again. Such steady absorption in divine service should be understood as the only remedy for the miseries which arise from mundane connection. So to be absorbed in divine service, hearing, chanting, remembering, praying to Krishna, to be absorbed in that, how to become absorbed. This is our business. How can I become absorbed? My attention to be fully absorbed in hearing about the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Krishna. Krishna matir astu, as we say in the greeting, may your attention be on Krishna. So right now it's a world of Corona consciousness rather than Krishna consciousness, but that should change, that must change. And Krishna says that this is the only remedy for the miseries which arise from mundane connection. There's no other remedy. Also, there's another nice verse which I'd like to share with you. In the 9th chapter, the Royal Science of the Mysteries of Divine Communion, in which Krishna says, however, I come personally to meet their every requirement and ensure the full security of those who are undeviating in their remembrance of me and perpetually absorbed in a consciousness of pure devotion. So, also a wonderful verse, Krishna himself says that he comes personally to meet our every requirement and ensure our full security. So, of course, these days with the lockdown, people are in so much anxiety just about the basics, about food and paying the rent and paying the bills, whatever they are. So this is great anxiety for many people. But Krishna is saying something very powerful here, that he personally comes to meet our every requirement and ensure our full security. He doesn't say some of the time. There's no condition all the time. What is the requirement? That we undeviatingly remember him and be absorbed in a consciousness of pure devotion. So yes, Krishna is a person and I'm a person, and that means relationship. And as he says, as we surrender to him, he rewards us accordingly. But this is our hope. This is our only hope, that we have become aware by the grace of the pure devotees of the Lord. We become aware of Krishna, the Supreme Person, and that he's very loving and very compassionate, and that we have a personal relationship with him. And to the extent that we surrender to him, to the extent that we want to take advantage of his merciful, compassionate nature, to that extent we will find relief. As my Guruji said, absolute belief brings absolute relief. So, of course, it's not a cheap process. It requires dedication, constant practice, determined effort, as Krishna says. So at least we can be aware of what is required of us and then apply ourselves. But we can apply ourselves with hope, with confidence, with faith that this is true. These things are true. Krishna's promises are true. And that this is the permanent solution to all our difficulties. And beyond that, there is the promise of a unimaginable eternal life of bliss in Krishna consciousness in the spiritual realm, Goloka Vrindavan. That is our destination, Param Gatim. That is what we're working toward, to arrive at that plane of pure consciousness. So we can simply apply ourselves day by day to this process and praying for qualities that will help us. There are so many important godly qualities which are important and necessary to make this journey, to stay on this path, especially as we hear from Lord Gauranga himself in his Shikshashtak prayers, Trinadapi, Sunichena, Tarodapi, Sahishrana, Amaninamanadena Kirtaniya Sadahati. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So I just like to end by playing a little bit of mantra, the Gauranga mantra. Shri is the first word, Shri Gauranga, Jai Gauranga, Gaur Gauranga Nam. Shri means blessed or beautiful. Gauranga is the name of the golden avatar. Jai means glory or victory. Shri Gauranga Jai Gauranga Gaur, also the name of the Lord, the golden Lord. Nam, holy name. So it's a prayer asking the Lord to be engaged in his service. So we can try to sing along maybe a little bit. Shri Gauranga Jai Gauranga Gauranga Nam. 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 Shri Gauranga Jai Gauranga